Well, there comes a time when doing a job just isn't enough and you want to build a career. Well, finding the right opportunity, it takes skill and, of course, a new mindset. We asked Alan Stein, founder, CEO, and chief accelerator with Kadima Careers, that is, for his thoughts.
Well, Alan, interesting subject here. Give us the big picture. What is employment like in Colorado?
Yeah, thank you, Claudia, for having me here.
Mhm.
Unemployment in July was 2.9%. It was less than the overall US figure of 3.5%. So things in Colorado are looking better than the US nation overall.
That's good to know. Now, one of the things about Denver, it's historically been big in this area. Anything new happening in that field?
There's lots of expansion in tech, in computer technology, in other sort of industries such as that. So tech continues to grow above index versus other industries, and it pays well. They're hiring well, and they've rebounded a lot from their early dip in 2023.
Yeah, tech again, not just in Denver, but throughout the state, there's a lot of tech opportunity. Alan, I want to ask you if somebody wants to move to Colorado, they want to make that change, what kind of industries should they be looking into? Who's hiring?
Yeah. So in addition to tech, there's government jobs, there's professional and business services jobs that added about 2,600 people over the last month. Hospitality, education, and health are always in need in every area, and especially in Colorado.
Okay, a lot of people have their own methods of looking for available positions, what's out there. What's your advice when it comes to looking for those good jobs?
Yeah. So the advice I mentioned, the advice that I advise is called the growth method. So first, establish your goals, establish the companies that you want to focus on. Secondly, realistically assess your strength. Third, build outreach to people at those organizations and earn referral. Fourth is work the system, understand how hiring works and backwards engineer a path in. T is tenacity and training for the interview, which are very beatable if you understand what to expect. And H, the very last part, is high impact negotiation. Do not talk turkey, do not talk compensation until after the company makes you an offer.
Okay, see, that's good advice. Okay, when should we be searching for a job?
I always tell people ABL, always be looking. It takes longer than you anticipate to find a job. Most people, if you're not a unionized employee, you are employed at will, which means that your employer can fire your tush at any time for any reason. So you should always be looking, always keep your skills fresh. And if greener pastures come along, go take them. You don't want to burn bridges on the way out, but you need to be focusing on yourself and you need to be owning your career.
Okay, smart thinking there. All right, how do we make connections? What's your take on that? Like, what's the best way to keep your name in there?
The best way is building commonalities and understanding commonalities with people. So if somebody went to University of Boulder and you went to Boulder also, you could connect with people there and say, hey, I'm all excited about Coach Prime and I'd love to connect with other fellow Buffalo alum. So you look at the commonalities, you build a bridge that way, you get your foot in the door, and then you start developing conversations, developing relationships, which will lead to referrals. And 40% of jobs occur because of referrals.
All right. Okay. And my last question to you is what if somebody is wanting to stay with the same company, but it's that time where they want to ask for a promotion? What's your advice?
Great question. So a lot of companies have promotions at certain times of the year, so you're a little bit beholden to those constraints. But the best way to get a promotion, the best way to get a raise is get an external offer and then come back to your company with leverage, because then all of a sudden they're worried about losing you and you now have leverage over the company.
Well, Alan, that is such good advice. Again, things we need to be thinking about. Very nice. Good to see you today.
Thanks again, Claudia.
Of course.
And you can learn more about accelerating your career at KadimaCareers.com.